Welcome back to the Long War II Abridged. Last time we got Advent's attention by stealing one of their VIPs. We had a fiery battle in which we stole a load of supplies, and we did a mission where we just narrowly avoided disaster and blew up a thing which prevented some dark event from happening. Now we're finally back to the Avenger and I'm able to build a power relay. This means that once it's done we can start making the other buildings and generally progressing the game, especially if we make a resistance contacts thing that allows us to expand out over more of the world. So we'll get to work on that. But the bad news is on the campaign map, it seems a dark event has just happened anyway. We've got Shredder. That means the enemy can remove our armor when they attack. Technically none of our guys have armor, so actually that doesn't matter for now. Next we've got a mission. We're going to reduce enemy strength in a mission where I've infiltrated beyond 100% to see what effect this has on enemy strength. The theory is it's going to make them much weaker than normal, so this should be an easy one. Well, it doesn't start very well. There are 8 enemies on top of the roof in front of us. That's the most we've ever seen at once, so much for it being that easy. The thing with this is there are so many enemies close together that how can I possibly resist grabbing Caesar here and looking for that rocket attack? I need to move across the street to get the angle. The problem is the rocket's really inaccurate, so I can't specifically target a place that will get all of them, especially because if we destroy the floor we might do some fall damage as well. I take the shot and it's actually quite bad. It goes past where the enemy are and blows up behind them. It does do some damage, but that was way less than I was hoping for. Now we end up pretty much fighting that whole squad. Some of them are damaged, but this is not really going to be any better than it would have been to just start the engagement with a snipe or something. So bad play. Nuke Tashno runs up and is able to throw a grenade into this building. We need to really blow the hell out of this building because the enemy have height on us and they have better cover. Attacking it's going to be difficult. A grenade goes in, gets us a kill, but it doesn't take out the floor, which is what I hoped for there. Roosevelt goes upstairs onto the balcony. She can't get the range on a grenade. We have a not particularly good shot, but we take it and actually get the hit. So that takes out one of the strong enemies on the second floor. One of the guys will get plus 20% chance to hit against us, which is nice. Here's a new operative, Boudica, who is going to run up since she's in concealment. That means she can just get really close to the enemy without paying too much attention. So I run up there with no risk of triggering pods coming in from the left. Let's see what the enemy have for us. A stun lancer comes out and hits Caesar. It just takes off his armor, not technically his armor, his protection, and he isn't stunned, so that's great. Someone shoots and hits Nuke in his cover. Then this gunner comes up. I thought that gunner would just annihilate Nuke, but he goes onto Overwatch, which is much better for us. The officer marks Nuke, but that was the enemy's last action, so that doesn't really do anything. We got away with that. We almost certainly could have taken a casualty and seen a stun from the stun lancer and made this mission way harder, but because not that much happened, we're going to have a chance to recover. Roosevelt's now inside the building on the second floor with a great shot down at the gunner on Overwatch. Now he's down and we don't have to worry about being suppressed by the Overwatch, so Nuke can run up using run and gun to get to point blank range against the officer on the corner. 100% chance to hit, and down he goes. That also outflanks the remaining enemy, which would force him to move if we can't kill him this turn. With Caesar, since he wasn't stunned by the stun lancer, now we can just move to better cover for the future and then turn around to get an outflanking shot, and that's a guaranteed kill. Down he goes. That leaves just one enemy on the field, and when there's only one enemy left, it becomes relatively safe to do a charge with a shinobi. So here, Boudica can run in, get inside the building, and then slash through the window / wall and kill that last enemy. Luckily, this doesn't trigger any more pods behind the building or something, which would have been the risk there. So that's the enemy squad down. We're not going to get any chance to recover though, because 3 sectoids come down the street. Looks like this fight's going to continue and we need to pivot now because those sectoids are outflanking our vague positioning going towards the building. Since I was mostly just moving, the only attack I could get against them this turn was this bit of damage from Caesar. If that had critical, it might have achieved something, but not really. Let's see what the aliens have for us then. We get a probably quite unlikely to hit Overwatch shot there from Roosevelt, so that's nice. This alien moves up and starts resurrecting a zombie, and as I said before, I'm always quite happy for them to resurrect zombies, because as long as you do something about it, i.e. kill the sectoid or flash them, that's effectively nothing. The sectoid at the back does a more effective attack. It panics Roosevelt upstairs, and now she can't act. That's going to screw us over a bit. The other guy goes across the street and also resurrects a zombie. All three sectoids are in really good cover. That's especially hard for us to outflank. That's the main annoying thing we're facing here. First thing I did was throw a grenade to try and kill one of the sectoids, but the damage was bad, so it didn't happen. Then, to be more safe, I threw a flashbang. The flashbang will disable the psionic effect, so that will effectively kill both zombies, and it means of course that the sectoids are debuffed if we can't kill them. I can get one by doing this cheeky move. Boudica can run out of the building, cross the street, and kill the one on the left. That leaves her in decent heavy cover with respect to the other two aliens, although it reveals a turret on that building. At least the turret can't really see her. Now the aliens basically did nothing in their turn, so I'm just skipping forwards to me killing them. Caesar runs up to annihilate the first guy, Bagration uses a hack to turn off the turret, and then Boudica runs across the street again to do another sword attack on that other sectoid. These sword attacks are particularly effective. They do a lot more damage than gun attacks, so they're quite good for that. Nuke went up onto the building to take out the turret, but there was another turret on the other side of the roof, so now he's in a risky position. He's not actually outflanked, so that's something, but he's almost outflanked, so the turret will have a good line of sight on him. We successfully kill the first turret. With the second, I used a run and gun with Roosevelt to take it out. However, you're not guaranteed to actually kill them even at point blank range with a shotgun, so yes, we just take off 2 health there. Now, Roosevelt's in trouble, but swords are the new grenades. When you're in trouble, charge in with a sword attack. So yes, Boudica comes in and attacks the turret. She does do enough damage to kill it, would have killed it even if it was at full health as well. And there we have it. I was like, well, that's gotta be the end of the mission. But no, actually, in the alien turn, some more guys come in, and now I'm getting really tired of this. I was expecting this to be somewhat easy in some way, but they just keep coming. And as the game progresses, it's going to get more and more like this, which actually is a big problem. The long war gets longer as it goes on, in that the stages take longer and longer to do. Anyway, I had absolutely no patience. I was ready to leave, so I just did a sword charge, but it didn't kill the Viper there. It was left on 1 health, so now Boudica's kind of stuck out there on her own while the rest of the squad is miles away. Nuke gets a good flash there that flashes on top of a fence, getting the troop and the Viper at the same time. There was a drone that was doing some little shenanigans at the back there, but it dies. Then the Viper hits Boudica at point blank range with his plasma thing. That plasma thing can do way more damage than that. That was a low damage roll, so actually we were lucky for Boudica to survive. And then the troop just went on to Overwatch. This low aggression from the enemy is really helping us out. I think we've saved 2 operatives so far from the enemy just doing a pointless Overwatch and then getting shot. Anyway, Nuke moves up and kills the Viper after Caesar kills the troop, and that's the end of that. Now, the main advantage to that mission was that it was one of the rare ones that lets you take the corpses home. And at the bottom there you can see we have an officer corpse. That's what we need to build the Skulljack, and that's what we need to hack an officer, and that's what we need to actually progress the plot. So, I sell a load of things at the black market to get the supplies and start building this thing. Gonna transfer an engineer from the construction stuff to help out with this so it comes around a little bit faster. Since things are feeling particularly slow, let's actually get on with things. Contrary to that, a relatively pointless mission here comes up. Another find a lead mission. I thought we were past finding a lead, but I sent guys on it just because I had guys to spare. I thought we'll just send them there to train up. However, right after that, a really important mission actually happens. Advent retaliation. The Advent forces have decided to just bother attacking our base, so now we need to go down for a non-infiltration mission, a straight-up vanilla XCOM style mission, where we just need to defend civilians. There's no concealment or anything, we start fighting right off the bat. In fact, we can see some aliens from pretty much where we deployed. We're just south of the base, and there are a few aliens hanging about inside. Plus, to make things annoying, once I was done with my turn just moving towards the base, a few more guys emerged from the woods on our right, so now we're going to immediately be outflanked. Plus, we've got a mech in play, a new high-strength enemy. It's got armor and tons of health, and I'm not sure if that's the one that has it, but some of the mechs have guaranteed damage attacks, like launching missiles, so that could be fun. In the meantime, the aliens are going to waste lots of their turns shooting at civilians. So this, in principle, makes my life easier. Well, they're not actually civilians, it's our resistance members, but unlike in vanilla XCOM, they are treated as civilians. They don't fight back, which they did in the original, or in vanilla, sorry. Anyway, so we're going to move in and try to kill the aliens before we lose all of our base staff. That's the plan. They've got a drone that really annoyingly disorients Eisenhower there and does a tiny bit of damage. We also get a mind control coming in from this sectoid down the hill onto Napoleon. So now our priority is going to have to be to kill that sectoid to continue with our next turn. One of the guys coming through the woods on our right gets one of the free bonus moves that happens sometimes and shoots an outflanked Jeanne d'Arc right away. Very nasty. Right, now we need to do some damage. First, Attili moves up and shoots a grenade towards the sectoid and the troop behind. Not enough to kill. I think it might have killed the troop if we got the maximum damage roll there. But anyway, we've removed some cover and made our attack a bit easier. Rommel takes out a stun lancer in the woods before he runs in to do any stunning shenanigans. Very nice, and loads of damage with that crit as well. Wilma towards the back takes a snipe towards the sectoid and gets the kill. And that of course means we can now use Napoleon this turn, and perhaps more importantly he's not going to shoot at us and kill our own operatives. I then moved Nabuna up to do the last little bit of damage to the guy that was back there with the sectoid. Means she's out of concealment but doesn't really help that much for this mission. Then we've got this person, Christine Cox, an uncustomized character who I realised is here because she is the advisor to this base. I put some random uncustomized characters in to try and get rid of spies. Didn't work, but here she is actually participating in the mission, and she takes some of the armor off the mech and does some damage. Napoleon shoots but only does 1 damage with the Greys, and now it's the alien turn. They keep taking out our resistance base members, really annoying because they are hard to get back. That mech starts running forwards. We've got Jeanne d'Arc on overwatch, but again we only get 1 damage. It's absolutely terrible, and the mech outflanks Napoleon there, and he takes tons of damage, 6, but because of his equipped armor item and his high health for being a high rank, he just about survives. The other guy in this area shoots back at some civilian or some resistance member and misses. Now, time for us to finish things off here. Wilma takes a snipe and that takes out the mech, which was pretty much dead anyway, so that's easy enough. I then used Hail of Bullets from Rommel to take out the guy in heavy cover, not wasting any time here. We'll just take them out without making any decent moves. Then I sent Nabuna to go pick up the item that the sectoid dropped, and this is only important because it turns out there are 3 more enemies nearby. It's 2 of those Vipers and a purple Viper. This is another new enemy. It's a Sidewinder, I think it's called. I think it's just a Viper but with more special abilities or something, not really quite sure. We get a tiny bit of damage on the Viper there to start things off, so that's nice. Nabuna's going to have to just run because she is in bad cover. Going to run to some heavy cover off to the right here and wait for an opportunity for a sword charge. Everyone else just shuffled up, no more chances to attack, so let's see what the aliens have for us. In the background, looks like we just lost another resistance member. The Sidewinder climbs up onto the hills where we are and spits a poison cloud. Luckily the area of effect only hits Eisenhower, so now he's going to be losing 1 health per turn, which is not so convenient. He also attracts some fire from the Viper down the hill, but luckily it's a miss. The other one moves over and shoots back at a resistance member and gets another kill. The resistance is being thinned out quite a lot by this mission, not very nice. At least now we can do something about it. Wilma takes a shot that takes half the health off of this Viper with a low damage roll. Then some of the others finish off the Sidewinder with Napoleon dealing the final blow with a grenade. Jeanne d'Arc shoots down with Hail of Bullets to guarantee the kill on one of the Vipers down there. And then Nabuna runs up with a sword, pretty much also guaranteeing the kill. So that squad's down. However, there is another squad, since we already saw them killing people. It must be nearby, and there they are, pretty much just behind where the Vipers are. So, let's fight them. Attili shoots a grenade, and it can only just get range on the Advent Engineer here. Just about does a bit of damage. I thought it might remove the heavy cover, but unfortunately not. Still, Wilma back here is able to get line of sight. The chance of hitting here, though, is very bad. One guy is basically never going to happen. The other guy, well, it's close to 50-50. Took the gamble and actually got the damage there, getting the kill on the Engineer. That's very nice. As for the other two, they're standing next to each other. That means it's grenade time. Christine Cox launches one towards those buildings. It kills the guy on the left and damages the guy on the right. Then Nabuna moves up and bothers to use her gun for combat for once, getting a kill there with a crit. And that ends the mission for us. In the end we lost, well, only 3 resistance members it says here. It felt like we lost more than 3 just now. Wasn't really keeping count, but 3's not that bad out of 13, I guess. The main downside to doing that mission is that now Napoleon is out of the game for a really long time, taking all that damage, so that is a shame. On the campaign map, a mission comes up to get an engineer. That's the sort of thing we like to see, finally something that's definitely useful. So we'll put together a squad to go do that. Then a special mission came up. It's over in Asia. This is a mission based on the attempts of the guy I sent there to oversee the base there, trying to get rid of spies, so those people that keep stealing our money every month. We're now going to get a chance to fight them in a battle, but this battle can only use the resistance members in the area. So that means we end up with a squad of like 5 random goons and 1 low-level XCOM member. Not the best squad, but we're only facing a weak enemy force. And we're going to get to ambush. We have full concealment, so you can see here I'm setting up to ambush 3 guys walking towards us. It's a pretty easy ambush because we just start off with a grenade and that kills 2 of them right away. The other guy is basically dead and the rest of the squad around here is on Overwatch. And as it happens, the very first guy who fires takes him down. So there we go, 1 squad down, but in the lot just behind that squad we have a couple of Faceless, so a new enemy for this campaign again. These are the guys who can shapeshift into humans, so they were effectively the spies that were stealing our money. Now we're just going to shoot them. They've also got a drone and a guy defending them. My first shot almost kills one of the Faceless with a really damaging crit. Nice stuff. Then I'm going after the guy, I outflank him, but unfortunately the damage is really bad, conversely, and he survives, so that sucks. We managed to take out the drone, but we can't get any more attacks on the guy. All I can do is flash him so that he's less likely to run forwards and outflank one of my people. Now there's a long delay while the guy thinks about being disoriented, and eventually the aliens will take a turn. Now these Faceless have a very simple AI, they just charge at you and try to melee you. The only thing you can do is not be in melee range, and in this case we aren't quite, so that means they're just going to run up and stand right next to us without making any attacks. Then we'll be able to do some very accurate attacks against them in our turn. The enemy guy shoots and misses, so nothing comes of that. Now let's finish the enemy off. We shoot a barrel that one of the Faceless was standing on and it dies. We kill the regular troop at some point, and then we shotgun that Faceless in the face to take him down in 1 hit. Very nice. That's the end of that, and we actually get the Faceless corpses as a reward, so we can do an autopsy on them if we like, but I don't like. Anyway, so hopefully that means we'll make some more income at the end of the next month. We complete the construction of a power relay, so now if we get another slot we'll be able to make the communication hub thing and power it. We also finished the construction of the Skulljack. We only get 1, and it has to be given to 1 operative, so I gave it to Nuke, hoping he'll be able to get close enough to an officer to actually use the melee weapon that the Skulljack is and do the hack to progress the story. Then we get a message saying we've ended the next month, so the game is about to get harder, and in the bottom right we can see that we're losing almost half of our total income to spies, so shooting the spies just now hasn't made a big impact. I guess it would have been even worse. That's not very useful, is it? Looks like Advent are preparing a new dark event. They're going to give themselves some more dodge unless we happen to get a mission that allows us to stop them. But we've got another mission to go on. It's a pointless find the lead mission. Now I'm going to quickly show you this mission. Was going to save it for next time, but it's a fairly interesting one, and I think it will set the tone for what's going to happen after this mission actually. You'll see what I mean in a second. We begin on the roof of a church, taking down some drones. Those drones were stopping me getting anywhere close to the objective to the north, so I had to break concealment very early on just to clear a path. The drones do not last long, since it's our entire squad against just 2 of them, so that's fine. Then, in the alien turn, over in the building that we're going towards, more enemies appear. Offid pops up for some Overwatch damage and almost kills one of them, that's great. Looks like there's a mech inside the building though, and that bursts out ready to fight. You can see the alien thing in the back there, that's the target, now guarded by these 3 enemies. Then a drone comes over from the right. That's not much of a big deal, but it causes a bigger deal because I sent Hannibal to just get a bit closer here to get the point blank range shot, but that move triggered 3 more enemies to approach from the north. Now Hannibal is outflanked. In this case, we can use run and gun to just move around the corner and then shoot. That way we're in heavy cover with respect to the new enemies, and we still get to take out the drone, so it's not going to stun us or anything. 100% chance to hit, and there's the kill. Belisarius, who we left on the church roof, takes a shot at the enemy that Offidi already damaged and kills him, so things are a bit better over on the left now as well. There was not much else I could do this turn, it was hard to move up or make any attacks, but I did set up loads of overwatches, and they're all going to trigger right now because the enemy mech is just charging right at us. We get a miss, we get 1 damage, we get another miss, and finally it's going to be 1 damage. Overall 4 overwatches don't do much to halt its advance. Luckily it doesn't do anything particularly special, it just suppresses Offidi. Offidi then gets shot at by all of the surviving enemies, but they all miss, so it's all fine, and now we get another turn. Alexandra shoots a rocket towards the right side, killing one of the enemies over there and damaging heavily one of the others, so that's improving life. Then Caesar throws a really good grenade. Because the mech is next to a car, the grenade does damage and then the car does damage as well, so a nice damaging grenade that actually takes out the mech. All good stuff. Then Hannibal throws a grenade forward to kill another of the enemies on the right, so not many foes left. However, on the right, while we just killed 2 enemies, 2 more enemies immediately replaced them, so it's still 3 guys over there, haven't made much progress. On the left, a guy inside the building shoots a rocket at Offidi. It's a direct hit, he loses his cover and most of his health, plus his armor. So that was dodgy, that's the first time the AI has actually done that to us, and it was particularly bad. At least it was their last action there, so there was no one to follow up on Offidi not having cover. I make a run here and I stupidly forgot that there was an overwatching guy in that RV, so Alexandra takes a bit of damage, luckily only 1 actual point of health damage. Now though, after the run, she's in a good position, she has one of the enemies outflanked, take a shot and get the kill with a high roll, good stuff. We're going to take revenge on that rocketeer by shooting a rocket right back at him with Caesar. Not enough to kill or even take down the wall in front of him, which was disappointing, but he's nearly there. Belisarius takes a shot at a guy who's behind that RV and gets the kill. That is good stuff. He keeps getting not all that good shots, so he's doing us very well in this mission at the very least. He's done well before, I seem to remember as well, after his terrible first performance. Anyway, Offidi uses combat protocol, which always does 2 damage, just enough to kill that guy in the building, so things are looking a bit clearer now. You might think so far this mission has been perfectly ordinary, but this is where things start to get interesting. First, 3 Vipers appear from our left, just near where Cortez is hiding in the corner of this building. They also get some bonus moves. One shoots at Cortez, but that's a miss, she's in heavy cover. Then another one gets a move and shoots at Cortez. But, heavy cover or not, it's a hit and a 1-hit kill. Cortez instantly goes down. The officer in the RV shoots at Alexandra. That's a miss, this time the heavy cover working out for us at least. So now we need to deal with an operative being down and new enemies coming from the left. On the right, what I tried to do was use a flamethrower to shoot inside the RV and kill the officer, but it doesn't work like that as it turns out, so it doesn't do anything. Well, actually it does do something, we'll see in a second. Belisarius isn't lucky this time, he only does 2 damage when he tries to snipe one of the Vipers. Offidi heals himself and goes into Overwatch, and really that's all we can do this turn. Caesar was also in Overwatch in pretty good cover, high cover from 2 directions. Not quite good enough though, he gets poisoned. I think that poison attack can go through walls and stuff, so he is guaranteed to get hit by that. Then Alexandra doesn't get shot by an officer that outflanks her somehow, we'll look at that in a second. Then one of the Vipers shoots and again hits Offidi in high cover. That would have been a 1-hit kill, but it was a graze, so he only took a few points of damage and got away with it. We were both unlucky and lucky there at the same time. As for Alexandra, this pink mist she's in conceals her position. She has a perk that means whenever she uses the flamethrower, it puts out this concealing fog, so that's why the officer didn't just kill her right away, and we can move forwards and kill him. As for the situation on the left, there's not that much we can do as it turns out. Caesar moves into this laundromat hoping to get some sort of outflanking shot, but the chances were really bad, so I just use hunker down to try and absorb some fire and not get killed. Meanwhile, Hannibal does have an attack she can make. She uses lightning reflexes to absorb a Viper's overwatch. Then she can run up to point blank range where she's very likely to crit, and she does get it, and that immediately takes out one of the Vipers and leaves her in heavy cover with respect to the other one just beside her. Offid overwatches up, and then some reinforcements come in, just what we didn't need at this stressful time. And in fact, the reinforcements come in right behind us, the worst possible place as well. It's an officer and a stun lancer. Offid's there in Overwatch, of course, right next to them. But despite them spending ages just wandering around and pointing and generally checking out the scene, he still misses when he eventually takes the shot. So that's extra bad. Now let's see what the Vipers have for us. The one that was near Caesar moves to some good cover and shoots at Hannibal from a different angle where she was only in low cover. Gets the hit and it's one hit kill again, so Hannibal is immediately down. This is starting to become a fun mission, isn't it? Another one takes a shot, a very long shot, at Caesar and luckily misses. Belisarius really needs a good snipe. He has a chance to kill the Viper there, but only just 2 damage, another graze. Why does this keep happening? So no, we haven't cleared up the pressure on the left after that shot. Caesar can move up to outflank now. The enemy that we can't see, the one that just killed Hannibal, is now out of our line of sight, but I know it's by that tree. So we move up and immediately get outflanking position and outflanking shot. The only issue is that these Vipers have lots of health and we can't kill them in one hit, and if we don't kill them in one hit, they will just outflank us and kill us in one hit. So Caesar being on his own makes this very dangerous. I went for it, I got the crit, but it only did 7 damage of the 8 we needed to kill that enemy, so now he's going to be in big danger of just being rushed. Meanwhile, Offid needs to move away from the Vipers into a position that wasn't outflanked by the 2 new enemies. I can do an outflanking shot on the officer, but we don't get a crit, therefore it's not enough to kill him even with the high damage roll. The enemies start moving. Alexandra was on Overwatch in the RV, but doesn't get the hit on the Stun Lancer. The Stun Lancer hits Offid and he is debuffed by that, but he isn't killed, he's still alive. Back over with Caesar. One of the Vipers tries to do the grab thing that pulls him out, but it doesn't work, so effectively that did nothing. However, it doesn't end its turn, it shoots at us and does 2 damage, only a graze. If again that had been full damage, he would definitely be dead. For example, with Offid right now, the officer he failed to kill shoots and takes him out of cover. Very nasty. Then the Viper, other Viper over by Caesar, spits some poison. That's annoying because he's now pretty much guaranteed to die. He takes 1 point of poison damage right now, and he'll take another one at the start of the next turn. He's on 1 health and has no med pack, and he can't make it to an extraction point. In fact, there isn't one yet. So he is just guaranteed to die out there. This mission is going suddenly absolutely terribly. It felt like it was going fine up until one moment, and now it's just over. I call for evac up on the church roof. Belisarius at least is somewhat safe, so he'll be able to get there since I can call it down right behind him. I take a shot at the Stun Lancer down in the street, but we're unlucky again, we don't get the kill. The Stun Lancer runs off and tries to hit Alexandra. It doesn't actually show it for some reason. I think it was because it missed, and therefore the camera doesn't work with it properly. Anyway, the officer fires at Alexandra as well, but no hit. She is lucky she's surviving, unlike everybody else. So the Vipers are now just going after Caesar, but Caesar has just run off and died. So we've kited the Vipers around for a bit, and they don't do anything else that turn. Now we need to fight our way out of this situation. Alexandra, who is just barely alive by sheer luck, needs to get up to the church roof to escape with Belisarius. We can move over here behind this random object next to the church, this machine, and fire at the Stun Lancer to finish him off. That way at least we're not going to be stunned, which would be the worst thing to happen here because you can get stunned for a few turns where you just can't move, and then we'd probably have the Vipers come over and kill us. Now the officer shoots at Alexandra again, but our luck holds out. It's another miss. Alexandra has the perk that means you get full cover from low cover, so she's especially good at not being shot in bad cover. We throw a grenade to kill the officer and move to escape, but as soon as we've taken out the enemy's reinforcements, another wave of reinforcements just comes in. There really probably wasn't any way of completing this mission after taking just 1 or 2 casualties, but after taking 4, there is no hope. We get out of there, that's the end of the mission, a disaster. Now I said this would set the tone for what's to come in this campaign, and that's really just because losing a load of guys like this can, in principle, make the game impossible to complete. So essentially what we're going to be doing now is seeing how we can deal with this situation. We're going to have to replace these guys with far inferior troops from the start of the game again, but the enemy won't have to do that. They'll just be getting stronger and stronger, so things will keep getting harder, but we're about to get a substantial portion weaker because of that battle. What effect will that have on the campaign? Will it even be possible to complete it? Well, I'm going to play on to find out. But if you're in the future and you can see that this series ends in a couple of episodes, perhaps now you'll know why. Well, we'll just plough on and see what happens anyway, so join me for the next potentially disastrous part of XCOM 2 The Long War.